The legends were real. The stories were wilder. And now it's time to talk about it. This is Wrestling Real Talk. And now your hosts, A.T. Huck and Rude Boy.
Check 1, 2. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight, today, wherever you are in your world? This is Wrestling Real Talk. I am Rudy Hill, holding it down for you once again right here in your favorite spot, whether that be Spotify, whether that be YouTube, whether that be wherever you catch Wrestling Real Talk. We are so thankful for you. We are so thankful for all that you do with Wrestling Real Talk. And we do invite you to be a part of our beautiful community. Leave your questions, comments, and/or concerns. But before I go any further, I got to introduce to you my partner in crime, man. He's my Hutch to his Starsky. He's my he's my John to my Punch. This is the one and only and a beautiful soul, my friend, my brother, the one and only A.T. Huck. What's up, Huck?
What's happening, man? You forgot Riggs and Murtaugh. Yeah, man, I'm here, man. We're going to have a good time as always, man. I feel good. You know, you look good.
Thank you, brother.
I can't tell you how you feel, but I know how you look.
Hey, man. I'm feeling good in the neighborhood, man. That's what we do right here on Wrestling Real Talk. And on today's Wrestling Real Talk, we have a very, very, very cool special. That's right. We are going to talk about some of the wrestlers who have been snubbed in recent years by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Wrestling Hall of Fame. And, of course, I'm talking about the WWE Hall of Fame. But Dave Meltzer also puts out his own Hall of Fame every year. And today he's mentioned a few names that are going to be on there. And I want to discuss that in a little while. But we're going to talk more about some of the wrestlers who haven't made it into the Hall of Fame and what a travesty it is. Before we go into all of that good stuff, though, what a hell of a weekend, man. What a hell of a weekend. A.T. Huck, I know you visited our friends over at Juggalo Championship Wrestling over at Harpo's over the weekend. We're going to talk about that. You're going to give us a rundown on everyone that you ran into and all of that cool stuff. Also, we do want to remind you that, of course, this is the holiday season. So this Thursday, that's right, tomorrow, if you're listening to today's podcast on Wednesday, we will be right back here on YouTube and everywhere else for the Turkey Throwdown, the Turkey Day Throwdown. It's going down this Thursday, Thanksgiving night in right there on YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. 4 big bouts brought to you by Throwdown Theater and Rocks TV, and of course hosted by yours truly, Rude Boy, and of course A.T. Huck. A.T. Huck also has a very, very special co-announcer on the show, the one and only, yes, I did say it, the fabulous Poin. That's right, Detroit legend is joining A.T. Huck. It's going to be very exciting. Don't forget to check us out this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard on YouTube through Throwdown Theater. Now, what a weekend, man. What a weekend. I was blessed. My daughter bought me a ticket for my birthday to see the Jonas Brothers, who are one of my favorite bands of all time. And we had a blast, and I'd like to thank my daughter Silvana for an awesome night. Awesome, man. We were dancing in the aisles.
Yeah, I saw your post, man.
I know y'all were clowning me.
Oh, man, we were just playing. I told Rudy, I said, hey, you got your cardboard, your magic marker, so you can say, hey, Joe.
Well, my favorite is Nick.
Nick is, hey, Nick.
Oh, man.
Oh, hilarious.
Those guys jammed. And you know what, man? Another sold-out Little Caesars Arena within 3 months of a sold-out show.
Yeah, in 3 months they sold it out again.
Pretty
That
amazing.
just goes a testament to their popularity.
Pretty amazing. If you get a chance to see the Jonas Brothers in your area, go check them out. I guarantee you will not be dissatisfied. These guys are real talent. But now, A.T. Huck, back to you and your Saturday adventure in Detroit at Harpo's.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to divulge any of the matches because they haven't aired yet.
Right.
But I did see a lot of old friends. I saw Madman Pondo. Haven't seen him in quite some time. I saw Too Tough Tony, who I go a long way back with. Briar Wellington, Richie Boy, was there on hand. And and I saw an old friend from ECW, Big Vito.
Big Vito
was there, and he's been tearing it up in JCW. Got a spot there, and he's doing really well. And we talked a whole lot about back in the day, back in ECW, and some things that went on back then. We were always ragging on each other back then.
Yeah.
But importantly, who I did meet for the first time ever was Vince Russo.
Vince Russo for your first time.
Vince for the very first time.
What was that like?
You know what? I was absolutely shocked.
Pleasantly surprised?
Pleasantly surprised. Vince Russo was very cool. He talked to me. He wasn't arrogant. We talked about a lot of different things, me, him, and Joe. Mm-hmm. And, man, I had a great night. But Vince Russo is, I believe he's misunderstood, based on our conversations, the way that he handled himself in the back and everything. And now, am I saying that I like the things that he did, in WCW? I'm not going to say that I did.
No, it was garbage.
A lot
it
of
was garbage.
That was really his real first opportunity to have the commander's chair.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
And it was just so different than what the traditional fans of WCW were used to.
Of course.
We were used to Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat and Harley Race and,
the traditionalists.
The traditional wrestlers that was totally different than what they were, the product that the WWF was putting out at that time.
Right.
And they had characters like Doink the Clown and the Gobbledygooker and Plumbers and different things like that.
Right.
And that wasn't the WCW who transitioned from the NWA style.
Exactly.
So it was kind of a shot to the system, for a lot of fans.
I mentioned that to Santana the other night. We were watching wrestling, him and I, the other night, and just out of the blue, he said, Dad, I watched some of the 80s wrestling, and you're talking about a 14-year-old boy. Mm-hmm. And he said, I watched the 80s wrestling, and man, why did everybody have a animal, or did they have, they
WWF.
were bringing dogs to the rings and Kimona dragons.
And parrots and dragons.
And he was like, why the hell did everybody have an animal?
The Road Warriors had a puppet.
Yes.
Ventriloquist doll, whatever. Yes. Rocco, I believe it was.
Rocco, that's right.
And I actually said something to Hawk about that, and he got salty.
No, you didn't.
I was like, dude,
tell us.
I was like, he was in the car with me and Steve Nixon. We were going to a show in Flint, I believe.
Okay.
And I was driving, or maybe Steve was driving. I'm not 100% sure right now. It doesn't matter. But Hawk was in the back seat, and I was like, dude, what's up with that Rocco thing? And he was like, oh, brother. And he just kind of nodded his head back and forth.
Right.
And it is what it is, man. Like that, Yeah. That's what they wanted us to do. And, but, man, for the Road Warriors?
Bro, no doubt. But then I did tell Santana, I said, well, obviously you were watching WWF television. Mm-hmm. Because if you were watching NWA, then you would have seen Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat and Arn Anderson. And
the intensity of the heat that they
and like we even spoke when we were driving in today to the office, Huck. Even the enhancement talents were amazing back then.
They
George
just
South,
beat up.
Yes,
George South and
Italian Stallion.
They were fined and skilled, trained workers.
Absolutely,
and not to saying that the guys in the WWF weren't.
No doubt, no doubt.
But it was a different product.
It was,
and I guess that's what I'm going back to with Vince Russo. Vince will probably fit in perfectly in JCW because of the things that the outlandish things that he wants to do.
Right.
And that's for the course. That's what JCW's been. It's
True that.
Very outlandish.
True that.
And that's their product and their fans love it. So Vince Russo will probably fit in just right there, I'm thinking.
I think so. I do. I think so. So all in all, it was a good time.
Yeah,
nice time.
I had a good time. So you people out there, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
Go watch JCW Lunacy.
Yes.
And you'll see exactly what
Each and
went
every
down.
week, you can check Lunacy out every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, right there on YouTube. Make sure you hit them up, Lunacy or JCW. You don't want to miss it each and every week. Kudos to those guys. Congratulations to those guys. I think they're going to have a wonderful 2026 coming up in the near future. Now, I also want to speak about another thing that we did over the weekend. You, myself, and Carlito, DJ Carlito, to you fools out there that don't know who Carlito is, you should know who he is. Anyways, he, along with myself and A.T. Huck, we went to go see our friends over at Horror Slam Wrestling in Southgate, Michigan. I got to tell you something. This was my first time being at a Horror Slam show properly. I've never been to a Horror Slam show, so I've never seen it. And then when we got there, they were co-promoting with another...
With ICW.
Right. And the first thing that I noticed was there was no ring ropes. It was... chains.
Right.
And that makes it hard for the workers, don't you think?
Yeah, I think if you've never worked in them before, I think a lot of the guys that work for ICW are used to it and they know what they can and can't do. But if the first time you were booked there, it would probably be an issue for you, especially hitting the ropes, because you aren't going to be able to get the spring. You aren't going to be able to do the stuff off the ropes that you would normally do. I couldn't see Chris Jericho doing a lion salt off the chains. Now, maybe he could, but it's just not the same effect. The bounce isn't there.
Well, one of the things that I noticed watching by the way, man, kudos to Briar Wellington and to Rachel Green. Both of them very loving, very welcoming to us. Always welcoming. And like we've said a million times here, we've known Briar Wellington since he was a child. He was a child.
For the most part, he was.
Yes. And to see him grow into the man he is, I'm really proud of him. And again, they had a nice draw. Very nice draw.
I love the building.
The building is amazing, man. Oh my goodness. I love
a nice vibe.
I love the chains on the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you're in a combat.
Right,
like something's about to go down. Exactly.
Right. And that's what it was. It was a fight.
Yes, it was. Indeed, it was. It was a wild night of wrestling. Broken light tubes and everything that you come to look for.
And you know how I feel about doors. But,
right,
doors. Tables, and no tables, but chairs.
No tables, man. Doors under the ring.
Galore.
It's true. But anyways, man, what a great time. Everybody was real cool there, man. The staff were really nice.
Yes.
I mean, just all in all, a good vibe, man. If you're into that type of wrestling, I know a lot of people ain't into it, man. I get it. A lot of people don't dig deathmatch wrestling. I get it. But if you're into it, man, that's where you want to be, is at Horror Slam.
Nobody I could see doing it better, They put forth a lot of effort, and you can tell they plan out the matches. And, they had the mouse traps, on the doors. So that took a lot of preparation to get that kind of stuff ready. And so, a lot of these guys are really good technical wrestlers, but they really like the death match scene as well. So I can't knock them for that, because they will go other places and put on clinics in wrestling.
I agree with you there. I 100% agree with you there, because I think of a guy like MM3, who MM3 to me is seriously one of the best in the independent circuit, period. I'll put him up against fucking anybody. That's real talk.
Oh, yeah. I definitely know his ability, and he's, third generation.
But for him to go into deathmatch wrestling, to me, it's a waste of talent. It really is, because he's that fucking good.
But he does both.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
He's not on all death matches.
But I mean, I'm not breaking.
You're like, why?
I'm not breaking news here.
Right.
But you don't have to be that talented to be a deathmatch wrestler. I
Well,
mean,
you should know.
I know, I did it.
And I'm not saying you're not
It's
talented.
the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. But you know what I did know how to do, Huck? And the reason why I had such a long career is because I knew how to put asses in seats.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it boils down to. And anyways, if I had half the fucking talent that MM3 has, man, Jesus Christ, I'd be champion of the world. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But anyways, Horror Slam, man, when they come to your town or wherever, check them out, man. They're very good for what they do. I love them. The crew, everybody there, they're nothing but loving to us, and I'm thankful to have them a part of our lives. And in fact, don't forget, on January 17th, Richie Boy Briar Wellington makes his return back to International Big Time Wrestling. You want to tell them about that match,
true,
sir?
That's true. January 17th at Taqueria El Rey. Richie Boy will be, like you said, making his return, teaming up with his longtime partner, Anthony Rivera, and they are 2/5 maybe of the Threat, a legendary Michigan faction. I won't say a tag team. They were a faction, that included AJ Styles, Truth Martini, Amazing Nate, Briar Wellington, and Anthony Rivera.
Wait, will you stop, please? Will you slow down for us slow people?
Slow?
Yes.
What's slow? What'd you miss?
What you should have said, nice and slow. A part of the Threat, former WWE superstar.
I think they
former
know who AJ
TNA
Styles is.
champion. No, but you said it like, yeah, AJ Styles and blah, 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 blah. Like, what the fuck? What you talking about, man?
I ain't here to put him
AJ
over.
Styles,
I ain't
man.
trying to put him over. I'm just stating some facts.
Well,
but you can go ahead and put him over.
I am going to put him over because he's one of the greatest ever to do it. He truly is. And I'll never forget it, man. I was at an autograph signing he was at, and I remember this Juggalo came up because we were promoting the TNA show at the CompuWare.
Yeah.
First ever TNA to ever.
I was there.
Yeah, and me and Joe put that on. Me and Joe Bruce. And of course, it's under the umbrella of Psychopathic Records, but I'm telling you, it was Rudy Hill and Joe Bruce who put that fucking show on. Yeah. And I'm proud to say that we didn't lose a fucking dime that night. We made $1.
You made $1. That's a story in itself.
That's the truth. But we didn't lose. And I'm proud of that. But anyways, we did these different autograph sessions around the area. And we brought in AJ Styles to Gibraltar or something, or maybe Taylortown. Anyways, he's there, and I'm standing there, and this Juggalo comes up. He's all excited. He's got his AJ Styles picture and stuff. And he's like, AJ, man, is it true, man? You're a Juggalo, right? And AJ Styles said, respectfully, I'm not. However, I am a Christian.
That's what he said.
And he said, you can tell me if you'd like, you can tell me about the Juggalo world, and I'll tell you about the Holy Bible.
Oh, wow.
I was like, whoa, that got heavy duty on
Did it?
But
Did the fan know how to respond? Did
well,
they get a blank look?
The fan looked and said, no one's ever told me about the Bible.
Wow.
Hello.
Man, that's deep right there.
Hello.
That's another situation in itself.
Hello. Anyways, AJ Styles, a good guy, man, but the Threat is coming to, man, Taqueria El Rey, the House of Champions, baby. Did you hear what the fuck I said?
That's right.
The House of Champions, Taqueria El Rey, where, man, I got to tell you something, man. If Carlito could eat the ribs from Taqueria El Rey every day, he would.
I've yet to have the ribs.
I
This
can't
time
even believe
I'm getting
that.
the ribs. Every time I go, I get the grilled chicken.
Oh, it's so
because
good.
it's so good.
Oh, my God.
It's so good. So I got to try the ribs.
Yes, you do. And I urge you fans out there to try the ribs, too, on January 17th. Starting time, special starting time. Are you ready for this? It's a Saturday night. That's right. It's a Saturday night in the Motor City, and that start time is at 7 p.m. p.m. Eastern Standard, 7 p.m. bell time. Make sure you're there at 6 so you can get you a good seat. VIP seats are on sale coming up next week, and those VIP seats put you in the front row. They put you right there in the front row, and by the way, they put you in your own section. You have your own section.
Nice.
And by the way, there's only a certain amount of those tickets available, right, Carlito? There's just a certain, yeah. So it's not going to be a full house. Like you're not going to be able to get VIP tickets for the whole house.
Right.
However, you do want to get these ones, and this also gives you a private meet and greet with our guest, Miss Nyla Rose.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right.
Nyla Rose coming in from AEW back
to
international
Detroit.
big time.
Yes, back to international.
This isn't
big
her
time.
first time.
Oh no,
IBW discovered Nyla Rose.
it's true.
So she's coming in here to Detroit to return the favor to us, to Rude Boy DJ Carlito, and it's going to be a great night. She's taking on Big Mama for the women's champion. But let me step back before we get there.
Yes, because we didn't forget
the Den.
That's right.
They're the tag team champions, and that's who the threat is going to come in and try to overthrow.
Will you please tell the audience a little bit about the Den? It's for those who don't know that they are the best fucking tag team in the country today.
These guys are super, super talented, very aggressive. They're serious about what they do in the ring.
Yes.
If you ever listen to Caesar Asher, man, the guy has the gift for gab.
Man.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
And then always behind him on his right side is the mighty Bojack, who you can't take for granted because he's a 300-pound beast.
So you got the brains and the muscle.
Brains and the brawn.
That's it, man.
You know, and they've been successful in each outing, defending the tag team championships. And I'm not going to say that they haven't had challenges.
Oh, my God, they have.
We haven't just been throwing jabronis at them.
No.
So, yeah, but this time they're going against some true veterans.
Legends.
True veterans at Anthony. Hot stuff.
Man, oh, man.
Anthony Rivera.
Yes, sir.
And Richie Boy Briar Wellington.
One time, I got a quick Anthony Rivera story. One time, me and I was with Midwest Territorial Wrestling, and Gary Warrencheck came up with this idea about Los Rudos.
Yes.
And he had the gimmick all laid out and blah, 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 how he wanted it. And he was like, Rude Boy, I think you'd be a great addition to it. And I was very thankful because it was like really outside of Sweet Daddy. It was someone hiring me, like actually giving me money.
That type of opportunity.
I've never had that opportunity at the time. And so we did the Los Rudos thing. It was successful. It was real nice. We had a nice run. We had a really nice run. Then I don't know how it happened, but I split from those guys. And I stayed with, they split from Midwest Territorial, and I stayed with Midwest Territorial. I stayed with Gary Warrencheck and Chris Carter because they were doing me right. I mean, when you're being done right, why are you going to go be done wrong? Don't make sense. So anyways, they went and they got a new Rude Boy. But his name wasn't Rude Boy. It was Anthony Rivera.
Oh, you know what? I didn't know that.
They brought him in as their guy.
Rude Boy?
No, they called him Anthony Rivera.
Okay, I was about to say.
No, they didn't call him Rude Boy. Thankfully, because that would have been weird. But anyways, and it didn't work. It didn't. It lasted 2 shows.
Just 2 shows.
And
Who
it
was
just
that for?
It just didn't work. Well, I do remember it was for who's the guys who ran the Wayne Ford Civic?
Oh, that was Mike Kelly. That was GLW.
That's it. That's it.
Great Lakes Wrestling.
Hey, right. And I didn't want nothing to do with that anyway, man. Because I was over that shit. And but anyways, it didn't work, and we talk about it sometimes to this day. And anyways, I love Steve Rivera. He's a great guy. We've had our ups and downs throughout the years, but at the end of the day, it's always been about love. It's always been about respect. You know, if you talk to me with respect, then we can get along, even when we're disagreeing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But it just has to be a matter of respect, and the kids only shown me respect forever. Anyways, back to January 17th. Of course, Nyla Rose against Big Mama. Everyone's talking about it. Huck.
For the women's champion, it's getting a buzz,
bro. Everywhere it's getting a buzz.
Yeah, somebody left a message. Where can I get tickets?
Where can I get tickets? Already they're asking for tickets. And I'm going to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who haven't been to Taqueria El Rey, and shame on you because you haven't. However, if you do not get your tickets early, I promise you, you will be left out, because this is not one of the biggest venues in the world.
It's kind of what you would say is exclusive.
Yes, indeed. And I'm going to tell you something. It is very intimate. Very intimate. Thank you, Carlito. Very intimate setting.
Into everything.
Bro,
you know,
and I'm going to tell you this.
The excitement, you can feel it.
And I'm going to tell you this. Once the tickets are gone, they're gone.
That's it.
They're gone. And so I urge you, get your tickets now. And more than that, for those loved ones that love professional wrestling, get them a stocking stuffer with those tickets. That's a great idea, you know.
Go.
Anyways, A.T. Huck, that's January 17th. We're going to have so much more in the upcoming weeks about
we're going to talk about it a lot.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we're going to have Big Mama on here next week, right here live on the air with us for a little bit, just a brief interview.
To check in, say what's up.
She's going to check in, and she's going to tell us all about this opportunity for her to go against AEW Super.
It's a big match.
But yeah, I'm going to also say this. I'd be an asshole if I didn't. I was on the phone with Nyla Rose 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And I said, man, you know, Nyla, this is great, man. This young lady, you giving her an opportunity like that, you know. And she was like, Rudy, she's giving me an opportunity. She's NWA fucking champions.
Right.
Multiple times.
Well, like I said, when we first put this together, I said, Rudy, Carlito, this main event, when you look at it on paper, is a really big main event for any indie promotion in the area. I'd match it up to any main event.
Yes, I agree.
That's what I said, and I think everybody else would agree as well.
January 17th, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be bringing you all that information. And before we go any further, because we are getting to our Hall of Fame stories and our Hall of Fame picks and why they haven't been chosen. We're going to talk about that shortly, but right now I do want to remind you, each and every one of you guys, Black Friday is this Friday. That's right. This Friday. If you're listening to the podcast normally on the Wednesday, then you know this Friday is Black Friday. However, our Black Friday sale, man, you have to go over and check out the brand new Chic wanted poster t-shirt. If there's anyone that loves wrestling in your life, that loves old school wrestling, that loves big time wrestling, that loves Detroit wrestling, that loves the Chic, then man, I urge you right now, go over to throwdowntheater.com right now. Check out the merch section and get your brand new wanted poster Chic two-sided shirt and two different styles, the bloody version or the noble version or both. But do that now in order to get your t-shirts available and just in time for the holiday season to be under that Christmas tree wrapped up real nice. It's throwdowntheater.com. Also, you can find trading cards and all of that good stuff right there at throwdowntheater.com. Go check them out right now. A.T. Huck. So, we're going to talk about the Hall of Famers that we feel needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Now, I was talking to Carlito the other day after listening to the Jim Cornette Experience, which I listen to every week.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Jim Cornette. I can't believe that he and I have so many
differences.
So many likes.
So many likes.
I can't believe that this is a man who
music.
Music.
Yeah,
oh my God.
right.
He loves Rick James, man. And then not super freak Rick James. He loves big time Rick James.
I'm in the big time.
Yes, sir. and Jim Cornette is also he's a guy who doesn't take no shit from the administration in the office right now.
Right.
He doesn't go
he's
for that.
very opinionated on topics like that.
Yes.
And wrestling.
But
you know what I'd like to do
course
one day
wrestling.
if it ever could happen? I'd like to visit his place.
Oh, I would too.
To see all of his memorabilia,
My
and the
God.
magazines and the posts. I mean, all that's memorabilia.
Oh,
but he
my God.
has so much tapes and
Oh my God! Just to see it live would be a dream come true.
Right.
But anyways, so I listened to his podcast and he's talking about the Dave Meltzer yearly Hall of Fame that he puts out.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, he has Cody Rhodes in it. I believe Seth Rollins. And then this man. And Jim Cornette, I was so mad when I read the headline for this podcast. Because I felt like it was burying a friend of mine, of ours.
Okay.
And the third inductee into the Dave Meltzer Hall of Fame, whatever the fuck that is, fuck Dave Meltzer
Maybe
too.
It's his opinion.
Fuck Dave Meltzer. Anyways, is Sabu. Now,
I kind of figured that's who you were talking about.
Now, hang on one second, y'all. I gotta hit this on this because this is
okay.
deep, brother.
That's
this is
okay.
real deep.
We talked a little bit about it on the way. So when you said it was a friend of ours, I kind of knew who you were talking about.
So, Jim Cornette, he goes on to say, Sabu doesn't deserve to be in any Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And I'm heated.
Mm-hmm.
Then he starts to speak, and he starts to speak sense. Huck.
Started making sense. Well, so
He
what
said-
were some of his reasons?
He said, one, Sabu never drew a dime for anyone outside of that bingo hall in Philly. He really didn't when he was on top anywhere. Two, Sabu was not a talker. He didn't have the gift of gab, so he couldn't talk you into the building. Three, he was very reckless, not only to himself, but to his opponents. And he was like, and four, and the most important thing is that his contribution to wrestling was in a small place in the universe. He wasn't a guy who changed the world of wrestling like his uncle, like I'm
gonna have to.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm not
finish,
done.
but I'm going to break down each one of those in a different way for you.
But listen. And the final thing that he said was he wasn't trustworthy. You never knew which Sabu was going to show up through that dressing room door. Was it going to be a Sabu who was maybe had a little bit too much party? Could be. Was it going to be a Sabu who was upset and didn't want to do nothing? Could be. Or was it that Sabu that we love and we know who just was just a happy-go-lucky guy at the end of the day? But anyways, I'd like for you to break down that.
I'm going to tell you my feelings about the stuff that I remember that you said.
Okay. I'll remind you.
To me, some of those things don't matter. as far as your impact.
What the fuck you mean it don't matter?
Let me finish.
Okay.
How much money he drew. What does that matter about his legendary status?
This is a business.
But let me finish. Don't
Okay,
cut me
I'm
off.
sorry.
I'm
I'm
listening
sorry.
to you for 5 minutes.
I'm sorry.
You know,
sorry. You're right.
It is a business.
You're right.
But is the Hall of Fame for the fans or for the business? If it's the fans, they don't know shit about how much money he made for anybody. They know he's the legendary Sabu. And as far as putting asses in the seats, 90% of the guys that do the stuff that they do are imitating what Sabu did before any of them.
That is a fair point, but still, that wasn't Sabu.
Impact, no, it was his impact. Who before Sabu were bringing tables to the ring on a regular basis? After that, everybody. Nobody before Sabu was breaking tables in a match the way that Sabu
really,
did.
who cares about that?
The fans.
No,
it's not for
not really.
The Hall of Fame isn't
the fans
for
were
us.
over that, Huck. They were over that
no,
the first 500 times they watched him put himself through a table.
I disagree. If they were, why did other people continue to do it?
Because it wasn't mainstream. Then it went mainstream when the Dudleys did it. Of course, we know where it came from. But the masses don't know. The masses don't.
I was going to say true wrestling fans do.
I disagree with that.
The Hall of Fame.
I disagree with that because I know
us in the business.
Because I mean, we know wrestling fans that if you ask them about Sabu, they say
was
who?
Showing up, a little high or something. The fans wouldn't even know that. You know what I mean? Besides somebody in the back spilling the beans, the boys who are guilty for ruining the business, breaking kayfabe
wait a minute.
and everything.
There's legendary stories of, and by admitting himself that he was fucked up during such matches.
Oh yeah,
and so by his own admission, he said
I just
it.
Don't buy it. I think Sabu is worthy of. And by the way, the Observer Hall of Fame. He's not worthy for that,
dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
The Observer Hall of Fame is like if Bob went and did a bathroom and wrote down 5 names and said, "Here's my Hall of Fame."
Right. That's
because
like I said in the beginning.
Matter.
Is his opinion.
It doesn't
did the
matter.
Fans that subscribe to the Observer, did they vote on this, or is this just Dave Meltzer saying who he thinks should be in
This is
it?
Dave Meltzer.
So it don't mean shit. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. But let me say this. Now, let me say this. Sabu was a fucking innovator.
Right.
Sabu, let me finish now. Sabu, although he didn't talk, he spoke volumes.
Exactly.
When he was wilding out. When they used to bring him in the gurney and the fucking thing, and then he was a vicious savage.
And to me, that was a homage to the Sheik because the Sheik never talked.
It was. And now the reason why I'm saying these things is because I am playing devil's advocate, because I am not only a fan of wrestling and a fan of Sabu, but I'm also a business guy in this business. And when you mention that it doesn't matter how many asses are, yes, it does. It most certainly does. Especially
as far as making money,
especially when you're putting him in the main event and giving him that main event money.
He was in the main events in ECW.
He was in the main event several places, Huck. You know that.
Exactly.
And and he deservedly so. By the way, here's a man who, and I hate that he didn't take advantage of it, because he was such just like his uncle, a god in Japan.
Yeah.
He really was.
And he was very stubborn. I know that.
Too stubborn.
Sabu very well.
Too
because
stubborn.
He could have probably gone even further than he did, but he didn't want to change.
100%. 100%. Now, Sabu, he changed the face of wrestling.
He did.
He really did.
And that's why, to me, he's deserving
I don't, but I don't know what the criteria is for
that you changed wrestling.
Wait a minute,
but you aren't worthy of being in the Hall of Fame.
Wait a minute. So, and here's another thing that Dave Meltzer or that Jim Cornette said, and I wholeheartedly agree with. If Sabu did not die this year, we wouldn't be having this discussion because he wouldn't be in nobody's Hall of Fame. True.
I can't agree with that. I don't know.
No, come on.
I couldn't speak
come
for
on.
I can't speak
come
for
on,
anybody
now
else.
You're
on
not being
man.
fair now. Now you're not being fair.
What's
You
up,
wouldn't have
Bob
gave a
has
fuck,
his hand
man.
up. We did.
We did have it.
I don't remember what we talked about then, though.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. And we can all revisit it. You can most certainly revisit that episode of Wrestling Real Talk on Throwdown Theater. Go check that out. But
yeah, because we got other people, that we got to talk about for Hall of Fame. I'm not about to change my opinion. You know that. The man did too much for me in my career for me to say he's not worthy. Helped me get into ECW.
Yeah, he helped you, but he didn't help the fans, Huck.
Yeah, he didn't help the fans.
He didn't. Now you're saying in a personal level why he should be there.
That's how else could I ever think of? I can't think about somebody else's opinion.
But you're not saying you're not
gave
saying
his whole body to the fans. The fans worship
I agree
Sabu.
with that, but I disagree with what you just said.
As far what did I say
you
that
said
was not right?
He most certainly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He gave me my opportunity. What the fuck does that matter?
To me, that's my opinion.
Right. But that doesn't
Whose else's opinion am I going to give?
That doesn't hold water to the everyday fan. They're like, okay, great.
It doesn't.
Anyways, my brother.
That's just how, you love your Eagles.
Yeah, I do
You're not
love my
say,
Eagles.
but yeah, you're right. I'm not.
I'm not, and I don't want you to say you're right because Sabu was a great man, and I miss him every day. I miss our conversations.
Yeah.
God, I really do. And gone way too fucking soon.
Oh,
way too soon. Anyways, A.T. Huck, moving forward on the wrestlers who have been snobbed.
And I'm going to tell you, Rudy, I do not know everybody that's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
To know the list.
Well, that's why we got our champion. Producer here that can look it up for us.
WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes, indeed, we are.
Okay, people who deserve to be in that, because there are a lot of people who deserve to be in a Hall of Fame that may not be in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I think that one person is not necessarily a tag team, but Ivan Koloff. I think he is long overdue, and I think he's coming
not in
because I've seen on recent editions of Raw where they have a poster, and the biggest name you see is Ivan Koloff.
Oh wow!
And that's been for the last couple of weeks. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that.
Okay,
but it says
I'm gonna have to peep that out because I haven't seen that, man. But you're right, Ivan Koloff, man, former WWF World Champion, bro.
Former World Champion.
He
ended Bruno Sammartino's years as championship
man, and shocked the wrestling world.
From what I understand, because I wasn't there,
right?
The entire arena was quiet.
Whoa!
After Koloff won.
Whoa!
I mean, Bruno was like a god on the East Coast.
Of course, man. He was. He was their Superman.
Right. But then Ivan Koloff, he later went on to have fame in WCW, in the NWA. Of course, with Nikita Koloff, the Russian Nightmare, and Ivan, definitely deserves it.
I agree with that 100%, man. What a good call on that one. For me personally, who I feel, and I couldn't stand the man personally, by the way, and we discussed him a few episodes ago, and what kind of a dick he was, is King Kong Bundy.
Bundy's not in the Hall of Fame.
King Kong Bundy, main event of WrestleMania 2 in the steel cage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, had a fine tag team with Big John Studd. They ruled the tag team in the WWE or WWF for a little while there. Also, and let's not forget about his singles runs, man. He never held a world title.
No, he didn't.
Never. He didn't need to. by the way, because his mass appeal.
Right. He was an attraction.
Exactly, Huck, exactly. And I do believe he made the WWF a lot of money, and I do believe
so.
I do believe he deserves to be in that Hall of Fame.
So much about King Kong Bundy, going back to when he first started. That's when I first saw him.
When he had hair.
What was his name? Chris Canyon or something like that.
Yeah, he was using his real name, and I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Canyon or not, but I just recently watched him on NWA, Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Oh, wow.
He's down there with the hair.
Yeah.
But I saw from World Class Wrestling when he lost his hair to Fritz Von Erich. It was Fritz Von Erich's retirement match.
Yeah.
And if he, whatever the stipulation was, Bundy got his head shaved.
Yeah.
And he was bald from that time on.
Man, let me tell you something. Yeah.
But another thing, a lot of people don't know that King Kong Bundy was a part of the Legion of Doom.
Yes, it's true.
In Georgia Championship Wrestling
100%.
under Paul Ellering.
Paul Ellering, when he started doing that. You're right. And it's funny, too, because the other night on Tubi, I was just flipping through and I was watching, old sitcoms. And I came upon Married with Children. Mm-hmm. And it was an episode with him on it. I said, oh, look at this motherfucker. But good for him, man. And rest in peace, King Kong Bundy, even though you were an asshole.
Yeah, kind of salty dude.
No, he was a salty veteran who just treated the young guys like shit, and I hated to watch it. Especially when one of those young guys are my friend, Jump Steady. Back to the Hall of Fame.
Who else we thinking? So you said King Kong Bundy.
I did.
So we need to mainly stay within the halls of the WWE.
No, not really.
They own so much.
Not really.
They own the footage from different places.
I mean, Abby never wrestled for them.
Yeah, he's in there.
And he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in there.
Deservedly.
This is one for me, and you're probably going to be like, what the fuck? But this guy was kind of legendary. And I think he's one of Bret Hart's favorite wrestlers. This guy's name, he wrestled under the Mongolian Stomper and Archie Goldie. The Mongolian Stomper, man, he was one of the staples in Calgary, back when Bret Hart was a young boy. But I remember when I went to Georgia and I saw this impressive-looking guy who just looked crazy. Mm-hmm. And he had one of those workout things that he was working.
Oh,
and Don
okay.
Carson was next to him.
Yeah.
And he was just one of those throwbacks. But the Mongolian Stomper did some time in Memphis, Georgia, all throughout Canada. And he's an obscure person, but I think he deserved the Hall of Fame.
Hey, fans, you know what? It's real simple. These people that we're talking about, if you don't know who they are, I'm telling you, if we're speaking about them, they are important. I invite you to look up the Mongolian Stomper right now on YouTube and check out some of his crazy matches. He most certainly was crazy. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, our producer just mentioned that Archie Goldie, the Mongolian Stomper, is in the Stampede Hall of Fame.
Stampede awesome, where it should be. That's great.
But just overall, I like, not like obscure guys.
Yeah.
But they had impact on more the independent scene. Not the independent scene, but the territory days.
Right.
That a lot of people may have forgotten about.
Well, like I was just telling the fine listeners here, check out the Mongolian Stomper on YouTube. Check them out. Because if we're talking about it, it must be about it. For real. And that's real talk. Now, back to my... mine is a tag team.
Okay.
Mine is a tag team that you and I and Carlito had a wild discussion one night while we were kicking back, listening to some jams, and we were partying a little bit, having a good night. And you guys started going at it, and it's the truth, though. The Road Warrior wannabes, Demolition needs to be in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. I say that because they most certainly put asses in seats. They most certainly, because I went to see them in the main events when they wrestled the Heart Foundation
we just got
and
a
shit.
Message that they are.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Go ahead. Let's look it up.
I thought you just pulled it up. You didn't pull it up? We're about to check now because there's
Yeah,
some
'cause no, I know that-
discrepancy here.
No, Demolition is not in the Hall of
They
Fame.
aren't in the Hall of Fame. Is one of them in? Is the Masked Superstar?
No.
Or none of the other.
No. For some reason, I think they had heat with Vince for a long time. I think they had heat with Vince for a long time. They're not in it, right?
Nope. Okay.
No, yeah, I was right. I think they had some kind of heat or something with Vince, and maybe it had to do with the lawsuit. I'm not 100% sure. It's on it, yeah. It was from the lawsuit. That's there. My guys
keeping
just
them
looked
off.
it up.
Okay.
Wow, that's amazing. And that's a damn shame, man. It
Yeah,
really is. When you talk about for the fans,
Right.
I mean, the fans love Demolition,
Right.
even though I didn't, but they still deserve to be
deserve it.
there.
Okay.
You know, and by the way, both you, like you said, the Masked Superstar was one of them.
Exactly. He was also the Big Machine.
Yes, the Big Machine with Andre. Yes,
Giant
yes.
Machine.
And then the other guy was, of
No, he
course,
was
Black
super,
Top
he was
Bully,
Super Machine.
or one of
He
the
was
machines.
Superman. I just want to get it correct because people will correct us. Big Machine was Black Jack Mulligan before I get off it.
It's true. And he had his United States Marine Corps fucking tattoo, and he was supposed to be Japanese.
Exactly.
Anyways, back to it. Yeah. So, guys like Demolition, man, you know.
Well, you know, if you're talking specifically WWE, I'd say the Mounties.
But wait a minute.
You
Stop.
know, why not the Mounties?
Wait. I just wanted to tell
Yeah.
you, man, because you mentioned, you know, Mr. Wrestling and
Mr. Wrestling?
What do you call it?
Yeah.
But we also forgot that his tag team partner was the Black Top Bully.
Exactly.
He was
the
also
Repo Man.
The Repo Man. I mean,
Crusher Khrushchev.
Crusher Khrushchev with Uncle Ivan. Yeah, down in NWA.
Barry Darsow.
Barry Darsow. Now, boom, back to you, my friend.
Well, you know, I'm sitting here trying to think. Like I said, you know, a lot of teams come to mind. You know, like the Rougeau brothers. You know, should the Killer Bees be in the Hall of Fame? You know, they had a pretty good following, and that's WWE stuff. But a person that I'm not sure if he is or not. And you know how I'm just so old school, Rudy. I just can't help it. And when my mind goes to Hall of Fame, I think of guys like Pampero Firpo.
I do believe Pampero Firpo was
Randy Savage was highly influenced by Pampero Firpo. That's where he got his catchphrase from. He was one of the most unique characters that I had seen as a youth.
Yeah.
You know, come into Detroit.
Yeah.
Besides the Sheik.
Yeah.
You know, he came in before Abdullah the Butcher was the Abdullah the Butcher that we know.
Right.
So Firpo and Wild Bull Curry is another one.
Right.
You know, but man, Firpo, man, his voice and you know the way he carried himself, and he wasn't that tall.
He wasn't.
He was really short, but he'd be messing up Ernie Ladd and Bobo Brazil.
My good friend Chris Carter told me a story about wrestling Pampero Firpo.
Yeah,
and he said he was in the dressing room, and I'm pulling back the curtain, so whatever. He said, Firpo said, "Okay, kid, now if you hit me from here to here, I will die.
Right.
Don't hit me there. Don't hit me there." And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
He was like, that was my conversation I had with Pampero Firpo, man. Don't hit me from here to here or I will die.
He was awesome.
I loved him, man. And you know, like you said, he was a wild man. And that was the beauty.
And he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Right. He's not.
And I remember
in the Hall
he
of
had
Fame.
at one point he came out and he
came
on camera.
Oh,
shut up. But he threw me off. But he held his hand up.
Hey, man, we're having fun
and he
here,
had
right?
these black stubs on the tips of his finger.
Uh-huh.
And I guess it was to intensify his finishing hold, which was the El Garfio.
El Garfio.
And it was just a claw.
Right.
You know, but he had these black stubs on the tips of his finger.
Yeah.
To gouge into your head to make it bleed even more.
Oh, I love it.
Then he would come out with his shrunken head, Shimu.
Yes.
You know, those are an actual shrunken head.
Yes.
You know, that was given to him.
Yes.
You know, and man, he came in as a bad guy, destroyed Luis Martinez.
Oh my
right out
God.
the bat, and immediately started teaming up with the Sheik. And they were like a wild and crazy tag team.
See, I don't remember that.
Yeah, this was like in the early 72.
God, I wish there were videos
you weren't
still.
Even born yet.
No, I was.
You
yeah.
were born
I was born in 70.
70. Okay.
Yeah, man,
70.
55 years old.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't tell as fine as I am, but.
But you were so young at that point to remember those
I was 2
matches.
years old. That's right.
Yeah, 2 years old.
But the thing is that unfortunately most of those tapes and stuff have been destroyed or they're gone, and it's a damn shame.
These guys, who they are.
Right.
So
right.
But he's won.
Absolutely. Let me tell you this. This is going to be my final one for the night. We're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to give you your final as well. But for me, my final is somebody who, to me, is personally like he's one of my all-time favorites. I was happy. I was happy and proud to start off my career as his long-lost cousin, and he would be Rick Hernandez's cousin, Gino Hernandez.
Gino Hernandez, the handsome half-breed.
The handsome half-breed. Now, let me tell you something. Gino was on his way.
Mm-hmm.
He was on his way, man. And he was a guy that everyone, all of the historians in wrestling, every one of them, they don't agree on nothing. Dave Meltzer, Jim Cornette, Brian Last, fucking JBL, none of them agree on anything other than Gino was going to be a fucking superstar.
Well, he had the gift for gab for sure, man. And
good-looking kid.
He was a heat magnet.
Yes.
Heat magnet. But when we first saw him, he was a teenager.
He was a baby-faced teenager.
And nobody knew who Gino Hernandez was. There was a TV taping we were watching on maybe a Saturday or a Sunday
62.
afternoon.
And that night, because that was a live one now.
Yeah. So we're watching this live.
Yes.
And Don Kent is the United States heavyweight champion.
And we're like, he's going to kill this kid.
And he's just in there with this Gino Hernandez that we had never, this was our first time ever seeing him, first time showing up on television, and he beat Bulldog Don Kent. For the belt.
Oh my God.
And everybody was in shock. Did I know of it, or did I just felt it myself?
No, you felt what everyone felt. I remember my father jumping out of his seat because he was like, oh, good-looking young Mexican kid, and all of a sudden, when he won, he jumped out of his seat. He was so excited, and he was like, all right, we got to get ready. We're going.
Right.
We're going.
Just, Ken had been beating the crap out of him the whole match.
Beating his ass.
Then all of a sudden, Hernandez is on the top turnbuckle. I guess, Kent may have put him up there.
Yes.
But all of a sudden, sunset flip off the top, 1, 2, 3.
The place went bananas.
Wow.
And that night at Cobo, man, the place was on fire. It was electric. I remember my father and my uncle Bobby, they went, they took us back, where we can meet the wrestlers going in and stuff. And Gino was walking in, and my uncle started speaking Spanish. And he stopped, and then they started kicking it, man. Next thing you know, man, Gino Hernandez and my dad and them, they're just kicking it back there.
Wow.
And if I was a smart kid when I was 10 years old or whatever that was, I would have held on to the autograph that I got.
That you had. You didn't think any. But who did he work with that night?
That night he had a rematch.
Rematch with Don Kent.
It was a rematch, man. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a rematch, and he held on to the belt, man.
That's amazing.
Place went bananas, man. It was really cool. But real quickly, I do want to put up a couple honorable mentions. One of them is Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard, who also was Brother Love and who has been producing WWF and WWE television for the last 35 years and doing it quite well. Now, I don't know, what's going on with him and the legalities, but hey, man, Bruce Pritchard deserves that most certainly. And Rick Martel, former AWA World's Champion, the model Rick Martel, former Intercontinental Champion, multiple tag team championships with Tony Gurria and a whole host of others. A.T. Huck, take it away. Your final.
Well, I agree with those you said. I remember, a lot about all of those guys. But here's another one. And, he might not be somebody that everybody even knows. But I'm sure you know who the Maniac Mark Lewin is.
Oh, indeed, Maniac
Mark Lewin should be in anybody's Hall of Fame. He had a career that spanned it from the 50s.
Yes.
And he wrestled a very long time in every territory in the country. I'm not sure, maybe back in the early WWF days when he was a tag team partner.
Yes.
Of Don Curtis.
Yes.
Don Curtis and Mark Lewin.
Yes.
So they may have worked in that area at that time. But Mark Lewin spent a lot of time in Japan,
Florida,
Australia, Florida. He was part of Kevin Sullivan's, gang as the Purple Haze. And held the United States Championship here in Detroit several times.
He is still alive.
And he's still alive.
He's still alive.
In his 90s.
He's in his 90s. He lives in Singapore.
He would always go to Singapore.
He lives there. And he's lived there for the last 50 years.
Right. You can pull up some old YouTube matches from Australia.
Oh, my goodness.
And you'll see him and Bulldog Brower and King Curtis.
Oh, yeah.
Killer Carl Cox, some great stuff from Australia.
And for those of you fans, you can also pull up him against the Sheik right here in Detroit. It's available right there on YouTube. Yes, I urge you to check out those matches. A.T. Huck, any honorable mentions?
Any honorable mentions? You know what? Is King Curtis in the Hall of Fame?
King Curtis is in the Hall of Fame.
He is in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He would be so. King Curtis is in the WWF Hall of Fame.
King Curtis is.
Oh, that's pretty awesome, man.
WWE Hall of Fame.
WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes.
You know what? I really can't say off the top because it may be somebody like
Sabu.
Like Ray Stevens. Is Ray Stevens in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I do believe he is too. Yes.
So I'm just at this point.
A
person I know who might not be in the Hall of Fame.
Who's that?
And does he deserve it? I think so. Would be Austin Idol.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Austin Idol. I love Austin Idol.
Yeah, absolutely.
The universal heartthrob. There was Idolmania before it was Hulkamania.
100%. You know that. A.T. Huck, man, we're going to put a bow on this one. We're going to say goodbye to our friends and family and all of that cool shit. We are, of course, going to say we urge everyone to check out the therowdowntheater.com right now. Get those Christmas gifts right now. It's that time of the season. A.T. Huck, any final words you would like to say to the fine people that have listened to us ramble on for the last hour?
Just want everybody to enjoy the holidays, be with your family, however you want to celebrate it. I know I'm going to have a good time getting together with my family. We probably won't talk to you before then, but be safe out there. And if you want to, check me out outside of this show, you can go to AI Huck on Instagram. I got some funny stuff on there that I've been working on with Bobby Rocks, and I enjoy doing it, so go check it out. Besides that, just hug somebody today, and I'll see you at the matches.
Man, that's a beautiful message. Hug somebody in the name of Huck. Yes. Fans, thank you guys, man. Thank you, man. I can't thank you enough, man. It feels so good to be alive today. It really does, man. I'm thankful for everything, and I'm thankful for y'all. Now, like Huck just said, man, whatever way you celebrate, what you do, you do you. You do you. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but that's on you. That's between you and Jesus. That don't have nothing to do with me. However, I do want to say this: whatever you plan on doing, just do it safely. Be good to one another, man. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. That's fact. So with that being said, make sure that you, just show love to your friends and family. And how about this? Show love to a stranger. I bet it'll make you feel good. That blessing right there might be the blessing that you've been missing. All right, so check this out. Thank you guys so much. We love you. Don't forget to watch the Turkey Day extravaganza right there on YouTube. That's right, the Turkey Day tradition. It's going down this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard on YouTube. Check it out. Of course, We will be seeing you very, very soon right here on Wrestling Real Talk. So with that being said, you know what I'm about to say because these are the words that I live by. We're not here for a long time. You know that. We are here for a good ass time. Be good to one another. Take care of one another. Allahu Akbar.
Peace.